Your evolution is physical and spiritual. September 24, 2013. With love and appreciation for the continual efforts of the awakening public in helping your Earth to ascend, I am Sanjaz Kha speaking for the Pleiadian High Council, the Pleiadian Council of Nine and the Company of Heaven overall. We continue to watch you progress and expand in all earthly endeavors you find yourselves undergoing, and we encourage you to seek spirit in any moment you feel as if your searches aren't rendering the results you'd prefer. In this time of development and expansion in the minds and hearts of each of you, you can find broadened and deepened connections with the spiritual realms if you can only open up to these connections and understand your infinite and uninhibited ability to bring through higher dimensional energies and impressions. You're each reaching strides along your life paths, and though it may seem the opposite for some of you, we reiterate with love that everything happening is ultimately for your greater good and growth as a soul. We seek to comfort you in your times of difficulty and sorrow, and we seek to let you know that the higher dimensions so many of you tend to feel so far away from have never been closer to you. Likewise, you're closer with these realms than you've ever been, and if you can only take the plunge and surrender your fears, apprehensions and anxieties concerning breaking free from your shell, you can come to find the infinite harmony and joy so discussed in so many of our communications. Yours for the building. Your new Earth is yours for the building, dear souls, and we can feel the readiness in many of you to begin getting to work and addressing the issues facing your society. There are many things to address indeed, and as you continue to expand so well, many of you find yourselves working much more actively for the Earth's ascension than you have thus far. You'll find yourselves infinitely able to address and mend everything that's held your planet and populace back from reaching the divine realms of consciousness you've heard so much about, and you'll find yourselves excited to perform this work, to say the least. When all of humanity has awakened to the realms of spirit and the actions of the few in power on your Earth with self-serving interests and agendas, the level of motivation and enthralled excitement that'll result will see your new Earth practically sprout up. Of course, it'll be a process that'll require the active engagement of each of you who find yourselves motivated to build a new Earth, and despite the opinions that could be presented, we are indeed working very actively for your planet's ascension and for an elevation of consciousness in each of you. We've been working for so very long on various aspects of your evolution from behind the scenes, and you'll come to discover and understand just how deep our involvement in your affairs has been as you find yourselves accessing the Akashic records and seeing, knowing and feeling everything that's taken place on your Earth and throughout creation. We Pleiadians have helped with much of ourselves to deactivate nuclear warheads and other destructive weaponry, the detonation of which is far outside of humanity's free will perimeters, and we've stationed ourselves in your skies along with the Sirians and Andromedans to cleanse and heal the bulk of pollution manifested and fed. Understand that the future you're heading into is a divine one reached by the engagement of the human race, but understand as well that you have and will continue to be given much assistance from the spiritual realms. Utilization of your power. There's little we encourage more than finding personal wholeness and security with oneself and one's ability to help unite the collective and build your future, but we encourage the understanding that you're being given assistance with various aspects of your ascension. We're helping in the realms beyond your conscious understanding to see each individual reach the personal awakenings and epiphanies needed for them to begin seeking deeper understandings than they've allowed themselves to seek thus far. An important aspect of your evolution is your individual awakening and utilization of your massive power and ability, and as individuals you can create much more change than you'd perhaps expect. Humans are meant to be progressive, to reach out and explore every aspect of themselves and their evolution. You're meant to be explorers and searchers, and you're ultimately meant to find your place in the divinity and perfection of the creation you exist in. We wholeheartedly encourage exploring and enjoying your earthly experiences while you're on the lower dimensional Earth, because you're undergoing a very unique experience indeed. The situation you're experiencing is nothing if not unique, as you're allowing yourselves to exist on a lower dimensional planet whose collective has fed and believed in illusory separation that's driven every bit of the hatred and pain you currently experience. However, Despite what could seem to be a dire situation, you're coming to rediscover that your Earth is and has always been beautiful and divine. Sentient plants and animals. You're coming to see the consciousness and harmony present throughout Gaia's plants and animals, and many of you are growing into greater perceptions of love as you share it with creatures you've been programmed to believe are devoid of thought or feeling. Humanity will come to understand the sentient consciousness of animals and plants in due time, and as you discover this, you'll see that you are and have always been connected with every facet of consciousness around you. The ways man has functioned on your planet have seen humans as the dominating species, and while the lower dimensional experience is indeed set up to herald such lower-oriented ways of living and being, the future you're moving into is seeing an ever-growing number of people lay down their assumptions about humanity's perceived status as the leader of your planet. Imagine a future when every animal and plant is treated with the same respect humans treat each other with. Imagine a future when animals help humanity to find greater perceptions about themselves, and when animals actively work with you to build your new Earth. Some may find this idea far-fetched, but we express with love that this is indeed the future you're moving into. Animals will be able to step up and show what they have to offer your planet to a race of humans who won't hurt or condemn them and will open up to them with love instead. No more will division between man and animal be prevalent, and as goes without saying, division between humans will no longer be prevalent either. As you imagine a future of harmony with the plant and animal kingdoms, imagine one of harmony between one another. Imagine every person on your planet getting along and finding love for each other instead of expressing constant hatred and divisiveness. Imagine a world where healthy debate is welcomed and encouraged, but the perceived division that would fuel nastiness is diminished and replaced with harmony and respect for the individual beliefs of one another. Differences in opinion in the higher realms. We in the higher dimensions don't always agree with each other on certain issues. We certainly have our different and individual viewpoints despite being connected as facets of the one infinite creator, but we celebrate our differences in belief or opinion on various matters related to the earthly and/or universal ascension that come up. Difference in opinion or belief in higher dimensional sources have been expressed in different messages from such sources, and this can explain why different channels seem to express different viewpoints. The idea has been presented that this is because of the individual viewpoints of the scribes channeling the messages, and while this can play a factor if the ego of the scribe isn't properly worked with to allow an unfiltered communication to come forth, we reiterate that our opinions can indeed be different. Just as we do, we ask you to celebrate your unique differences in belief or ideology, because you each have something grand to contribute to the awakening of your populace. Your ability to spread and radiate the higher dimensional energies and perceptions you're unlocking is much stronger than you've allowed yourselves to believe, and the energies we're giving as you absorb our words and impressions are being inclined specifically toward helping you understand your personal power and ability. As you continue to grow back toward the higher dimensions, so do each of your channels open and expand to new heights. Your resulting ability to bring through higher dimensional energies is quite turned up, and we can say to many of you who are actively involved in channeling the higher dimensions in various ways at present, to expect your ability to expand if you continue to feel inclined toward expanding it. As the roles of many of you expand, so will aspects of one's role that could be seen as older or outdated begin to fall away. You're meant to embrace personal expansion, and as you do, you're meant to lead yourselves to what resonates with you the most and what you feel the most comfortable doing for your Earth's ascension. Your ultimate goal is and has always been to help your populace awaken, and when a certain percentage of your public is able to find enlightenment and collective ascension results, you'll be able to take a breath of fresh higher dimensional air, knowing that you did much for your planetary and collective evolution. As we turn this temple over to the Arcturians, we express with love that we'll continue to be with each and every one of you who finds yourself close with our energies and impressions. We are indeed real and aren't going anywhere, and will continue to work actively and happily for your planet's evolution. The Arcturians speak. With greetings and love, I am San speaking for the Arcturian Councils of the Galactic Federation. we wish to address your collective's perception of who are perceived to be extraterrestrials. We are and have been very close with your planet for quite a long amount of your concept of time, and while we haven't been as fixated upon your earthly affairs as the Pleiadians and Arcturians, we still feel our own degree of love and involvement for and with the Earth. We're not the monstrous beings that have been depicted in your movies and television shows, and rather, we're humans who've evolved from our respective planets and branched out to help as many other planets as possible to evolve. This is what naturally occurs when a civilization of individuals evolves. They spread out and explore this vast creation of all of ours, as they connect with various other planets and civilizations. Your planet has been held back from the next natural step in your collective evolution, space travel. Yes, an illusion has been perpetrated around your perception of space travel, as it's perceived that your developed countries have been actively involved in developing spacecraft, launching satellites and traveling to celestial bodies. That illusion has been orchestrated to keep your collective complacent regarding real space travel and the technology that can be built and understood concerning it, and the rockets launched into space are quite outdated in view of the technology you could have been using by your 1940s. Physical and spiritual evolution. We were ready and willing to introduce this advanced and sentient technology to your collective in those times, but we understood that there was still a ways to go from the grip of distraction, division and hatred still prevalent in your society. Your cabal is finding themselves less able to stop us from making sightings or to stop individuals in your collective from introducing free energy-based technology to your world formally. Free energy technology has been suppressed and shelved by your cabal for reasons they reiterate are related to national security, but the truth is that they've worked actively to keep your populace held back from space travel and understanding that even close to your Earth, there are star systems with planets boasting brimming advanced societies who are actively fixated on the evolution your Earth is experiencing. Humanity has misunderstood the nature of evolution on your planet, as many of those who don't subscribe to the dogma prevalent in your religions assume evolution to be a concrete physical process that doesn't make allowance for your understanding of and growth into the spiritual realms. Your evolution is physical and spiritual, and when understanding this we foresee your society working actively to breed understanding of the spiritual realms. The technology-based stimulation and distraction you're given keeps you from actively seeking within and finding an uninhibited connection with the spiritual realms, and whether you choose to write, channel or do anything else for the Earth's ascension, understand that your efforts are quite needed. Your cabal doesn't want humanity to understand that you can connect with us, because they know that we and you will then work actively to diffuse the propaganda they've built up around our existence and the subject of space. This propaganda is subconscious in nature, and is brought about under the guise of films and television shows whose malicious intent can be discounted because they're not real. Indeed they're not, but your cabal's intention in making them has been oriented toward breeding a fabricated image of extraterrestrials and off-world beings in your populace. Laying misunderstanding to rest. When you're greeted with disclosure, it's anticipated that there could be much difficulty in accepting the fact that we are indeed here on and around your planet because of the fear of monstrous beings with the intent to invade your world. Indeed, we are not such beings and we seek to assist you in understanding your infinite nature as spiritual beings. We seek to help you understand your abilities so that you can utilize them to their fullest degree, and we seek as well to lay the misunderstandings surrounding our existence to rest. Above all, we seek to express love to as many souls who can open up to it as possible. Rediscovering love in all of its fullness and infinity is your main goal in experiencing the lower dimensions, and you're meant to rediscover yourselves as the conscious creators of everything you go through. More souls are beginning to discover their ability to create their experience, and as they do, they come to discover their own godhood and divinity in greater measures. As we make our final impressions for this communication, we express thanks to our scribe and to each of you for your continual efforts. Yes, this thanks is given often and we recognize and accept that it could sound repetitive, but we offer it with love, joy and appreciation nonetheless. Continue on in your missions, dear divine souls, because your greater perceptions aren't going anywhere. Thank you to Sun and the Arcturian councils, and to Sanjazka and the Pleiadian councils. Channeled through Wesanak. Wesanak.com. AquariusParadigm.com